I hear that the chat is on fire. If you could continue to pose your questions, we'll save that chat for questions. Thank you all for introducing yourselves, but we'll get to your questions as we move along here. But this next part of our session, I want to ensure that you all are equipped with having PBS Learning Media in your toolkit. And PBS Learning Media is your free go-to site from PBS. And my colleague Paula here will guide us through the site and show some hacks for using PBS Learning Media. Paula, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, John. Yes, like he said, I am Paula Hill, and I am a PBS Learning Media Education Content Coordinator, and I'm actually a former teacher myself. I love PBS Learning Media, and it is a resource that I used to use myself in the classroom, and I think that whether this is your first time, the first rodeo, or if you are a pro, you are going to find something that you love from our site. Before I get started on an actual tour of our site, I wanted to go over what I will be showing you. There are many resources that you can use on our site, but because we want to respect your time as well as give our panelists time to share their best practices, these are the few that I'm going to go over. I'm going to show you our home page. I'm going to show you how to browse and filter, ways that you can share resources, and a quick at a glance of our teacher dashboard. Okay, so as you can see, this is our home page. And if this is the first time you're ever coming to our page, at the top right, you can either sign in or sign up for an account. A great way to use our account is if you already have Google Classroom, you can go ahead and connect with your Google account. You can also create an account using your Facebook credentials or just a basic email. I like to connect using my Google account. That way I can integrate all the great tools with my Google Classroom. Now, you don't have to have an account to use most of our tools. However, it is free and we do recommend it for many reasons. One of those reasons is that once you have created an account, the site will connect you with your local station, which will allow you to see local events coming up in your area, as well as special collections that have been curated by your station for you. In addition, you will also be able to see, which I will show you in a second, that once you click on a resource, you'll be able to see the standards aligned to your state when you check that resource. Underneath the top sign-in bar, you will see a browse bar. This browse bar allows you to search for resources by subject, grades, or standards. You are also able to search by keywords at the top right or underneath right here. As you continue to scroll down, you will see our featured resources. These change throughout the week and are picked by your content masters that are looking out for new and robust resources that you can implement immediately. As you continue to scroll down, you will see another opportunity to browse by subject or by grade and upcoming news and events from your PBS team. Next, you will see some award-winning series and collections. These have been specially curated by content specialists that range from kindergarten to 12th grade. Some of these resources will be talked about later on in this presentation, such as our virus information and prevention and our brand new, it was just released today, a pre-K through 12 resource for emergency closings. As you continue to scroll, you will once again see those teacher events, which will be localized when you create your account, and those collections that your station thinks are perfect based on where you live. As I mentioned, you can search through content through subject, grade, standards, or keywords. Today, I'm going to show you how to search through subject. Once you select your subject, you will see that each subject has a sub-content as well. Once you click on that sub-content, you'll see categories specific to that content area. You can then filter by grade, by type of resource, and you can sort by either popularity or whether you want the newest content. You will see plenty of resources based on your search specifics. And once you click on that resource, this is what you will see. You will see a resource landing page. It will give you a quick introduction to what that resource contains, support materials that you can use to support your instruction. And this is where you would see that state alignment, as well as the national standards. Once you have found a standard or a resource that you love, there are many ways that you can share it. You can share it immediately. If you've already integrated your Google Classroom, it will automatically let you select what class to share that link to. You can also assign or share. One of my favorite ways is through a quick assign, which will give you a code that students can type in when they sign in through their also free student site on PBS Learning Media, or you can just copy and paste the special URL to whatever method of communication you are using. Speaking of communication, we are also integrated with Remind, which we will talk about a little bit later. But once you have integrated your Remind account, it will populate a specific URL, and it will automatically allow you to select your recipients, and it will send that message to the students and parents that you would like to share that resource with. One more specific that I would like to show you is the ability to favorite a resource. When you favorite a resource, it will automatically save it to your teacher dashboard, which you can access at the top right corner. Your teacher dashboard will show you any assignments that you may have assigned to your classes already, and it will allow you to see some other tools, as well as you can use those favorites to then create folders, which I know our digital innovators will get more into detail in a bit. If for some reason you would like to view this again, remember it is being recorded. And if you ever need any further assistance, we recommend that you hit our help page, which has step-by-step instructions on how to use all of our tools on our site. So back to you, John.
Thank you so much, Paula. And I wanted to reiterate a couple collections. Paula mentioned this at the bottom of the homepage. You'll see that there are some collections that we suggest, and we have created some collections specifically for what is going on right now. And so in the past week, our PBS stations and producers have worked really hard to pull together this pre-K through 12 resources for emergency closings. And there's the URL at the bottom of the page. And this featured lesson plans in the collection, which contain full contextualization for the media they include. So you can plan and adapt our lessons in creative ways using the lesson builder, which you'll see in just a moment. And then you can integrate it with Google Classroom, Remind, and those other tools. And additionally, we have another collection that will be really helpful as you begin curating your resources for online instruction. This is the K through 12 interactive lesson plan collection. And each of the lesson plans presents content from a public media production, and they're specially tailored to the curricular needs of the classroom. So teachers can assign them to individual students or pairs or small groups for self-paced work. So very important resources that you can use right away for your online instruction. And we had a great question from Susan that came in regarding how do we support students without internet access? And I think we're all wrestling with that right now. And I think we can address that in just a bit. But I also wanted to mention within the pre-K through 12 resources for emergency closings, we do have printables that we've curated as well. And we have contextualized support materials with our media that have discussion questions and other lesson plans. So I know PBS stations, including ones in Washington State, have been creating some packets with those printables to hand out at lunch sites. So that's one idea that could possibly be used in your own community. So those were just a couple collections I wanted to ensure that we highlighted. And Paula, there was one more question that came in. Do students have to create accounts in order to access the content?
They do not, John. They will be able to access the content. Now, the benefit of having a student account is that teachers are able to modify how they assign those resources. If they want to add any supplemental instructions or any discussion questions, that's where the benefit of creating an account comes in.
Thank you. We had another question about the videos that play on the site. Her district blocks YouTube. These videos play right within the PBS Learning Media platform, so you should not have any issue with that. And so we'll continue to answer these questions as we move along through our session. I wanted to hand it next over to my friend Deb, who's going to talk a little bit about how she curates resources for online learning using PBS Learning Media content.
Thank you, John. So one of my favorite things to use PBS Learning Media for is its Lesson Builder. Lesson Builder is a great opportunity for you to not only use what PBS Learning Media has to offer, but to integrate that with what you're currently doing in your classroom. These are the important things that you're tackling every single day. And the best way to use the content is to find the content that has already been vetted and curated for you. We know it's reliable, we know it's trustworthy, it's safe for our kiddos, and it's going to be fun. It's PBS. So I just wanted to walk you through an example of what this looks like. Here's one that I had used with my 4th grade students. This is just the first student page that students would access through their portal. As you can see on the right-hand side, they have many options of pages to scan through, and I always had recommended the students to look through the whole packet first, look through the whole piece, and determine what your pace and path would look like. They get the instructions, they get an opportunity to look at some questions, they get some PBS learning media that might be in the form of a video or an interactive. I'm going to walk you through some of those pieces. If you click on the link for me, thank you. This is what it looks like from the student's end. You have the opportunity as a teacher, once you go ahead and create this, to view it as the teacher would see it and also as the student would see it as well, so that you can understand their perspective. But you can walk through each piece. You get to push in the questions that you want. You can create them. You can also find some of these pre-formulated questions on some of the learning media in the support materials. So that's also available to you. You have the opportunity to structure this in any way that you want, make it as long or as short as you want or need for your students. You can also create one and then edit it out and differentiate it for your students so that you can scaffold it up or down depending on what your students need. If we head back into that other screen, I wanted to show you on the next screen, this is an example of one of my favorite interactive lessons. This is one about Edison. And if we click on this link, we'll see that there are lots of opportunities in here for you and your students. Once you launch this, you're going to see what it looks like, but I want to walk you first through the support materials. You can see that as a teacher, you're able to see what the lesson is all about really quickly. It's a nice summary. You also get to see what the standards are, and they even give you some supplemental readings, some anchor standards for the readings as well. You can see as you move further down into the supporting document that it actually walks you through what you should do before, during, and after the lesson. This is a really quick way for you to identify what you need to do before the kiddos even get their hands on this. And this is a really great way for you to explore perhaps what are some of their misconceptions, where are they going to struggle, how can I elevate this up or down so that I can motivate my students to maybe explore things additionally outside of this lesson builder that they might not already have access to. So giving them entry into that portal of PBS Learning Media will let them to really explore something else that they learned through doing this little activity. And there are lots of really great interactives that you can find at any grade level. I encourage you to maybe explore a grade level above or below, or that grade span above or below, because you really can find some great things in there that can either challenge your students or support their learning at a different level. So if we come back out of there, we can take a peek at the next slide. I just wanted to give you a really quick indicator of what this looked like for you. At the beginning, I had said that it was a really great idea for you to be able to collaborate with people. In my PBS Learning Media account, I've created many, many folders. Once I create these folders, I can share them out with anyone that I choose to share them with. And this is going to cut that work in half. So if you can find a friend, find a colleague and say, listen, I'll go find some of the ones that connect to this unit, and you find some of the other ones, and you just pop those things into the folder, you can then share that folder. A whole grade level can share the resources that one person has found. And we've now made hard work through many hands be much easier.
Thank you for all those PBS Learning Media tips, Deb and Paula. And I want to reiterate that we are recording this. I know it's a lot of information to take in, so you can access the recording after the session. And then we also have a support site that I will direct us to at the end of our session.